Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Will the clerk please call the roll?
Pomish. White. Finn.
Here.
O'Brien. Baker. Payne. Glazeman. Johnson or Robinson. Jacques. Quam.
Here.
Finnendale. Lear. Allen. Ryan. Hendrickson. Johnson. Liebert. Anderson. Mock. Conley. Bergman. 18 present, 3 absent.
We have a quorum. At this time, I would like to ask the public would like to address anything that is in the budget. Would anybody from the public like to address the county board regarding giving us input on the budget? And the third time, would anybody like to address the county board regarding any input on the county budget for 2015? If not, we'll go to resolutions.
Resolution number 7114, resolution by the Administration Committee, subject Transportation Services Grant.
Motion by Mr. Jacques, Ms. Hendrickson, that resolution 7114 be adopted. Discussion. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Resolution carries.
Resolution number 7214, resolution by the Administration Committee, subject new positions and reclassifications 2015.
Motion by Ms. Bergman, second by Mr. Payne, that we approve resolution 7214. Discussion. No. The discussion. If all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Resolution carries.
Resolution number 7314, resolution by the Administration Committee, subject designation of banking depositories.
Motion to adopt.
Mr. Quam, Mr. Pomish, that we approve resolution 7314. Discussion. Mr. Conley.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Chairman. Just a light question here. I'm wondering, this is quite a list, and I'm happy to see that the little banks in my communities are on there. But just wondering, do we actually use all these banks? If we do, what is the strategy on that?
Our main two accounts are with BMO Harris and NBC in Superior, but the treasurer uses all these banks to bid out, for instance, CDs, certificates of deposits. So the more banks on there, she feels the better chance of getting a better return. So yes, she does contact all of them when there's a CD that comes due.
So we can say we actually have funds in those banks?
Not all of them at any given time, but we've had funds in all of them at one time or another.
All right, thank you.
Thank you. All those in favor of resolution 7314 signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Resolution carries. Presentations. If Ann would come up here, and also all the staff. Come on, Tracy. And Ann is right here. For several years, and this we've had this about we've seen this word for the last 5 years or 4 years.
4.
Okay. The Government Finance Officers Association Distinguished Budget Presentation Award presented to Douglas County, Wisconsin for fiscal year beginning January 1st, 2014. And this award represents a significant achievement by this county. It reflects the commitment of the governing body and staff to meeting the highest principles of government budgeting. In order to receive the budget award, the entity has to satisfy nationally recognized guidelines for effective budget presentations. These guidelines are designated to assess how well an entity budget serves as a policy document financial plan and operation guide and communication device. Budget documents must be related proficient in all 4 categories and 14 mandatory criteria within these categories to receive the award. And we are 9 of 72 counties that received this award. So I wanted all the staff that were here to come forward, because this is a joint partnership, a joint effort by all the people in the finance office for the award, all the hard work they did. I just want to thank all of you for your dedication, your hard work, and your patience, because it takes a lot of patience to do this sometimes. I want to thank you all and present this to Ann and the entire staff.
Thank you, and of course, it is a collaborative effort of the entire county. All the department managers I'd like to thank, they each have a piece, their own section in the budget book, and Andy actually does a large part of it, the beginning section, so we appreciate that. And besides Judy, Tracy, and Candy, I also like to recognize Renee Middleton. She does most of the presentation work, and Brenda Ostrander, she's the IT guru who downloads all the numbers into the book automatically. So, thank you, staff.
Yeah, thank you and congratulations.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Honorable members of the Douglas County Board of Supervisors, it is an honor and a privilege for me to present the County Administrator's 2015 Douglas County budget. Although it is officially the Administrator's budget proposal, preparation of this proposal would not have been possible without the cooperation of staff and department managers, especially the staff of the award-winning Finance Department and its Director, Ann Doucette. I am very grateful to these dedicated team members and to Douglas County Board Doug Finn and Administration Committee chaired by Alan Jockus. One of the most important policies that the County Board establishes is the annual budget. It is the duty of administration to carry out the policies established by the board and to carry out the mission of Douglas County, which is to provide cost-effective services with equal access to all citizens, to continue and enhance partnerships, and to responsibly manage our resources and plan for the future. As administrator, I, in concert with department managers, must communicate the policies created by the board to all in county government to ensure compliance. In the case of the budget, each department manager provides valuable input to me during the budget process and is responsible for living within his or her budget upon county board adoption. Effective managers seek budget input from and communicate budget expectations to their respective staff. In short, all of us who are employed by Douglas County have a role in the budget process and the financial success of Douglas County. Budgets are not prepared in a vacuum. Although the budget I present to you is for the year 2015, events that occur in this current fiscal year and in earlier years have influence on the 2015 budget. Furthermore, the 2015 budget and the events that will occur in 2015 will impact budgets beyond 2015. Building upon the accomplishments of 2014. The year 2014 started off with the implementation of an organization-wide compensation plan that was developed by Carlson Detman Consulting, with valuable input from the Compensation Study Steering Committee. The plan covers all non-represented personnel in the employ of Douglas County. In addition, collective bargaining agreements were reached with 2 collective bargaining units representing sheriff deputies and jailers. These agreements will provide labor cost certainty through 2015 for the jailers and 2016 for the sheriff deputies. The compensation plan, based on the principles of market competitiveness and internal equity, is an integral part of a continuous process to accomplish a vision for Douglas County as an organization that expects, recognizes, rewards, and nurtures exceptional performance. This vision is consistent with Douglas County's mission and core values and represents a culture change for the organization. An illustration of this culture change process is provided on the screen. The county's personnel policies were totally revised and adopted by the county board in January 2012. Work on the compensation study and subsequent compensation plan began in early 2013. And in January 2014, a performance management steering committee chaired by County Board Supervisor Mary Lou Bergman, and again representing a cross-section of county government, undertook the charge of developing a performance evaluation tool to be used as part of a larger performance management system. Department managers and line supervisors will evaluate staff performance utilizing the evaluation tool developed by that committee and a web-based platform developed by Healthcare Source. We expect all staff members to receive a performance evaluation by the end of 2014 and each year thereafter. In 2015, we'll explore the development and implementation of a merit reward system to reward those county employees who exhibit exceptional performance. We will also take steps to develop an employee training and development program that will provide a pathway for employees to move up in the organization. Recognizing the fact that most of our department managers are at or near retirement age, we want to especially focus on identifying, training, developing, and nurturing our next cadre of line supervisors and managers as part of an organization-wide management succession plan. Occurring concurrently with our quest to change the organization's culture is our continued movement toward priority-based budgeting, PBB. Finance department staff members have been introducing PBB concepts that they have learned from training provided by the GFOA into county's budgeting process over the last several years. This year, with the assistance of University Extension staff, finance staff facilitated a planning process with the county board that generated 6 priority areas upon which Douglas County government should focus. The priority areas are sustainable infrastructure investment, public safety, professionalism, service and efficiency, natural resources, responsible development, and compassion. Finance staff will continue to lead the PBB initiative through 2015. Steps include 1, public involvement in the priority setting process, 2, costing out programs and services provided by county government, 3, prioritization of programs and services based on the county's priorities and the degree to which the programs or services are mandated, 4, analysis of the effectiveness of programs and services based on outcomes, and 5, reallocation of resources based on program service alignment with priorities and effectiveness. The active involvement of the county board in this process is imperative. This year marked the 4th year in a row that the county's health care costs did not increase. Much of the credit for this goes to the county's Health Benefits Committee and the work it has done toward improving employee health and well-being and controlling health care costs. This year, the committee recommended that the county's health assessment and well-being program be expanded to include both employees and spouses of employees. Those eligible employees and spouses who completed both the assessment and a well-being program qualify for a reduced health insurance deductible for 2015. 75% of eligible employees and spouses have qualified for the reduced deductible. In addition, the committee recommended and the county board approved the offering of a high deductible health plan health savings account, high deductible HSA, option in 2015. During an open enrollment period later this year, employees will have the choice of staying on the current plan or choosing the high deductible HSA option, which will carry a lower monthly premium. We expect those employees who choose the high deductible HSA will become better consumers of health care, which will result in savings for both them and the county. These and other measures will be necessary to avoid the Cadillac tax penalty provisions of the Affordable Health Care Act. Several capital projects were either started or completed in 2014. These included the installation of a video surveillance system and an audio warning system in the government center and courthouse. Work to repair and preserve the exterior of the courthouse was completed within budget, and energy-efficient lamps were also installed around the government center. The Highway Department completed the first phase of the County Trunk Highway T Pulverize and Pave project. In 2015, with funds contained within the operating budget and proceeds from a proposed $4 million bond issuance, the department plans to complete the final phase of County Trunk Highway T and complete the first phase of the County Trunk Highway D reconstruction project. If the bonding is approved, it will be the first time in several years that Douglas County has bonded for highway projects. It will also be the first tranche of the highway bonding plan approved in concept by the Executive Committee. Barring any unforeseen circumstances, the highway bonding plan proposes the issuance of up to $2 million in bonds per year from 2016 to 2019. The budget process. The budget is a reflection of the values embedded in Douglas County's mission statement. Providing high quality, accessible services is at the top of the list. We try to ensure that the budget we propose will enable the county to deliver its services at the highest level of quality possible. We also use the budget process as an opportunity to evaluate the programs the county offers, to discern whether some services should be eliminated and or others added, and how we can provide the services and we do provide in the most efficient manner possible. As part of this program evaluation process, we explore ways in which we can collaborate and cooperate with other government units to provide services more efficiently and effectively. For programs that the county offers in which fees are charged, we examine those fees for reasonableness. In short, we ask ourselves the question of whether or not the taxpayers are receiving value from county programs commensurate with the tax dollars they are paying to fund those programs. The budget process also reflects the concept of long-term value. Resources we invest today are expected to reap benefits on into the future. In 2015, we will reallocate resources in ways consistent with the adage, an ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure. We will create 2 additional social worker positions in child protection, child welfare, to address a growing need to try to assist families in addressing issues early on before those issues turn into ones that have to be dealt with by law enforcement or institutionalization. We also create the position of risk manager to focus on workplace safety and security in an effort to reduce work-related accidents and to build upon the work we have done to enhance the safety and security of the Government Center Courthouse campus. The Highway Department has reallocated resources in the area of road maintenance to address the early stage repair needs of recently improved roads to maintain their PASER ratings and extend their life cycles. With the county's mission and values in mind, we engaged in a budget process that looked at individual functions, departments, and the county government as a whole. This year, department managers were asked to develop goals for their departments in 2015 and action plans for achieving those goals. Goals were examined to ensure alignment with the priority areas that you laid out in the planning session earlier this year. Goals and action plans were shared with communities of jurisdiction, and we expect discussions focusing on the progress toward attaining those goals to be a reoccurring item on committee agendas. It was the job of the administrator with help from the finance department staff to compile all this information provided by the individual departments into a workable, balanced budget to present to the administration committee and to you, the full county board. As a synergistic document, the proposed 2015 budget is greater than the sum of its parts. It is a participative, value-laden roadmap for Douglas County government. So the 2015 budget. The 2015 budget proposes total expenditures of approximately $50.7 million compared to expenditures of $50.1 million in the 2014 adopted budget. How the 2015 budget is divided among major activities areas is as follows: 26.38% for health and human services, 22.06% for general government, 21.84% for public safety, 15.10% for public works, 8.10% for debt service, 4.46% for conservation and development, and 2.06% for culture, recreation, and education. Examining the budget by object, one will notice that the personnel-related costs are expected to increase by 1.54% in 2015. This is due mostly to wage step increases per the compensation plan and the collective bargaining agreements wage increases. Due to our claim experience in 2014, health and dental benefit costs are projected to remain steady. Total revenue in 2015 is budgeted to increase by approximately $4.6 million compared to the 2014 budget. Most of that increase is due to the issuance of $4.4 million in bonds for highway projects. Due to the continued growth in the local economy, we are projecting an increase of approximately $280,000 in the county portion of the sales tax revenue for 2015. Other revenue sources are projected to be relatively stable. Interest rates remain low, which continues to restrict the revenue that the county receives on its investments. The 2015 budget contains a 3.23% property tax levy increase over 2014. The budgeted 2015 tax levy will be approximately $16.27 million compared to $15.77 million in the 2014 budget. By state law, counties can increase their levies for operating expenses by no greater than the percentage of increase in growth in equalized value due to net new construction. In Douglas County, that percentage was 1.21% in 2014, which equates to a maximum levy increase for operations of $181,760. This growth compares to 0.55% in 2013. The remainder of the levy increase was due to increases in debt service and an increase in bridge aid. The future. As with past budgets, the 2015 budget will build on our past achievements and better position Douglas County for challenges and opportunities we encounter in 2015 and beyond. The local economy, which weathered the Great Recession better than both the state and nation as a whole, shows signs of sustained growth. With increased growth in property tax base from net new construction and increased sales tax revenue collection due to increased local commerce, the county will be able to accomplish its priorities while operating within the levy limits and the other constraints placed upon us by the Wisconsin legislature. Douglas County remains on solid financial footing. It is our intent to continue to be good stewards of county resources to ensure the future financial stability of the county. Striving for exceptional performance, developing staff, utilizing the concepts and principles of priority-based budgeting, and implementing a fiscally responsible plan to address our infrastructure needs will enable us to do that. Working with the county board, department managers, and staff, we will continue to explore ways to increase the efficiency of county government and look to cooperate and collaborate with entities in the public and private sectors in order to enhance the quality of service and increase taxpayer value. We will continue to evaluate programs for their relevance and necessity and make adjustments accordingly. We will introduce training at all levels of county government in order to give all of us the tools we need to carry out the mission of Douglas County on into the future. Douglas County continues to be one of the most fiscally sound counties in Wisconsin. We are fortunate to have an exceptionally well-qualified and dedicated team of department managers and staff. Working together with a commitment to serving the taxpayers of Douglas County, this team will continue to do its part to keep Douglas County a superior place in which to live, work, recreate, and invest. Again, I am honored to present to the Douglas County Board of Supervisors the county's administrator's annual message and 2015 proposed Douglas County budget. Thank you.
Thank you. Any questions for our administrator? Any questions at this time?
I'm going to turn it over to Ann to go over more of the numbers.
Okay.
These are just a few summary slides. There's only about half a dozen of them. This slide was prepared just to show some of the balances in our reserve funds.
Hello, this is Doug. Hello.
Hi, Doug. My name is Alice, and I'm calling from Axon Software.
I was giving you a call because it looks like you had a
Our
chance to
proposed
visit our
levy for
website not too long
2015, as
ago.
Andy indicated, is
And you could register for one of our
$16,277,751. Excuse me.
$751.
Increase from the previous year of
Yeah, vaguely.
3.23%. Our equalized value increased this year 3.25%, which ensures virtually the same tax mill rate, average tax mill rate as the previous year. It was 4.95 last year. It's 4.95 this year.
As I
The
recall, your
increases in
software is quite
the
expensive.
increase in the levy is due to prior debt service, $117,594. Debt service related to the unfunded pension liability, approximately $125,000. The net new construction, 1.21%, was $181,760. Bridge aid increased $88,177,000, and then actually the allotment for libraries went down a few $1,000s. And those are the
I'm
differences
afraid
from
that's way out of my
last year.
price range. I'm a one-man shop.
This is how we calculate the levy limit.
I think I talked to
We
someone
take
there, I think told me $500 a
2014's
month.
levy,
That rings a bell.
subtract
I
out
told them that was just not even an option.
the bridge aid, libraries, and debt service after 2005, and
No
that
problem,
number
thanks. Bye now.
is multiplied by 1.21, the percentage of allowable growth, to get that says 2010, should be 2015 adjusted tax levy. Then you add back in the adjustments for bridge aids, libraries, and the 2 debt service to come up with the total allowable levy by state statute. Levy comparison, this is the past 10 years, shows the changes in equalized value and the changes in the tax levy and the corresponding tax rates. And that's an average tax rate. It's kind of hard to see, but this is rates per municipalities. See, the towns and the villages have a higher average rate because of the special levies, the bridge aid, the libraries, and recycling. And that was the only summary slides we had. And then we'll go on to departments.
Any questions for Ann at this time? Any questions? Thank you, Ann. And I wanted to say also thank you to all our departments. Thanks for coming tonight. And again, this is a joint effort, and appreciate all your work and all your work of all your employees, and just want to say thank you. Okay, what page?
Review. For those of you that are following in the budget book, I will be reading, beginning on page 74 with County Board of Supervisors. If you're using your iPad, it's bookmarked. You can move between the pages. Okay. So page 74, County Board of Supervisors. Total expenses, $188,871. Other revenues, 0. Net cost and tax levy, $188,871.
Motion by Mr. Jacques, Ms. Hendrickson, that we adopt the County Board of Supervisors budget, net cost $188,871, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
Page 78, Administration. Total expenses, $407,856. Other revenues, $42,000. Net cost, $365,856. Tax levy, $335,856.
Mr. Quam, Mr. Pomish, that we adopt the administration budget, tax levy $335,856. Discussion. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
Page 81, Clerk of Courts. Total expenses, $687,298. Other revenues, $491,400. Net cost and tax levy, $195,898.
Mr. Baker, Mr. White, that the Clerk of Courts budget be adopted, net cost $195,898. Discussion. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
Page 84, Circuit Court 1, total expenses $79,182, other revenues 0, net cost and tax levy $79,182.
Motion by Mr. Baker, Ms. Hendrickson, that Circuit Court 1 is adopted. Net cost $79,182. Discussion. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
Page 86, Circuit Court 2, total expenses $79,833, other revenues 0, net cost and tax levy $79,833.
Motion, Mr. Payne, Mr. Pomish, that we do the Circuit Court 2, net cost $79,833. Discussion. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
Page 90, Court Commissioner, total expenses $207,482, other revenues $121,983, net cost and tax levy $85,499.
Mr. Robinson, Mr. Baker, that we approve the Court Commissioner budget that cost $85,499. Discussion. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
Page 93, District Attorney, total expenses $383,303, other revenues $52,000, net cost and tax levy $331,303.
Mr. Baker, Mr. Payne, that we approve the District Attorney's budget, net cost $331,303. Discussion. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
Page 96, Corporation Counsel, total expenses $254,054, other revenues $144,000, net cost and tax levy $110,054.
Motion is Jacques, seconded by Mr. White, that Corporation Counsel budget be approved. Net cost $110,054. Discussion. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
Page number 99, Register of Deeds, total expenses $322,071, other revenues $334,364, net cost and tax levy $12,293.
Motion by Mr. Robinson, second by Ms. Ryan, that the Register of Deeds budget be adopted, net cost $12,293. Discussion. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
Page 103, Land Conservation, total expenses $179,052, other revenues $151,876, net cost and tax levy $27,176.
Motion, Ms. Hendrickson, Mr. Quam, that the Land Conservation budget be adopted, net cost $27,176. Discussion. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
Page 107, Zoning and Land Information, total expenses $425,101, other revenues $156,980, net cost and tax levy $268,121.
Ms. Bergman made the motion. Who made the second? Mr. Mock, that the zoning and land information budget be adopted, net cost $268,121. Discussion. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
County Clerk, total expenses $339,153, other revenues $78,100, net cost and tax levy $261,053.
Mr. Pomish, Mr. Glazeman, County Clerk budget be approved with the net cost of $261,053. Discussion. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
County Treasurer, total expenses $391,175, other revenues $65,075, net cost and tax levy $326,100.
Mr. Payne, Ms. Anderson, that the County Treasurer's budget be adopted, at the amount of $326,100. Discussion, Ms. Lear.
I think there's a typo on the 8-month actual. $796,000 in revenue.
What page you on, Rosemary?
113.
113.
It's a net cost from operations of a credit of $562,000.
There's a revenue item up above, that's 773,000, that's a temporary item, and actually, a lot of that gets paid out to the state. So it's kind of, it doesn't look right, but it's actually,
It is correct.
right now it is, but most of that revenue gets paid to the state,
Okay.
so. It should be in a liability account, and they have it in a revenue account.
So it's right the way it's written here then? It's okay? Is it? Any other questions or discussion? All those in adopting the county treasurer's budget, that costs $326,100, signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
Page 117, Sheriff. Total expenses, $4,258,569. Other revenues, $481,694. Net cost and tax levy, $3,776,875.
Motion of Mr. Baker, Mr. Pomish, that we adopt the sheriff's budget. Net cost $3,776,875. Discussion. Any discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
Page 121, Jail. Total expenses, $5,278,813. Other revenues, $1,454,600. Net cost and tax levy, $3,824,213.
Mr. Robinson, Ms. Kay Johnson, we adopt the jail budget. The net cost, $3,824,213. Discussion. Yes, Mr. Baker.
Just a minor question. I see there's a $300,000 increase in there. I'm assuming that's because of increases to the new contract with the jailers. Is that possible, or am I wrong?
Andy?
I believe you're correct for the personnel services. It would be an increased labor cost.
Any other questions? If not, all those in favor of adopting the jail budget at $3,824,213 signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
Page 124, Finance. Total expenses, $608,265. Other revenues, $201,265. Net cost and tax levy, $407,000.
Mr. Quam, second by Kay Johnson, that we adopt the finance budget. Net cost $407,000. Discussion. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
Page 127, Recycling. Total expenses, $283,470. Other revenues, $182,540. Net cost and tax levy, $100,930.
Okay, Ms. Anderson, Mr. Jockus, that the recycling budget is adopted with the cost of $100,930. Discussion. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
Page 130, Veterans Administration. Total expenses, $201,572. Other revenues, $49,700. Net cost and tax levy, $151,872.
Mr. Robinson, Mr. Payne, that we adopt the veterans budget at net cost $151,872. Discussion. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
Page 134, Extension Office. Total expenses, $203,208. Other revenues, $11,141. Net cost and tax levy, $192,067.
Kay Johnson made the motion. Second by Ms. Hendrickson, that we adopt the extension budget net cost $192,067. Discussion. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
Page 137, Emergency Management. Total expenses, $575,310. Other revenues, $167,235. Net cost and tax levy, $408,075.
Mr. Jockus, Mr. White made the second, emergency management budget, net cost 408,075. Discussion. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Opposed, motion carries.
Page 140, Communications Center. Total expenses, $1,037,997. Other revenues, $10,000. Net cost and tax levy, $1,027,997.
Ms. Anderson? So Mr. Mock, that the Communications Center budget be adopted, net cost $1,027,997. Discussion. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Opposed? Communications Center budget is adopted.
Page 143, Medical Examiner. Total expenses, $132,297. Other revenues, $28,050. Net cost and tax levy, $104,247.
Mr. Pomish, who made it, second by Mr. Ryan, that the medical examiner budget be adopted at 104,247. Discussion. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Yes.
And I gotta commend Sue in her office. This is great to follow through. This is quicker than having the book in your hand and trying to follow through. So thank you very much for doing it.
Pam's bookmarking, hard work.
Pam did all the bookmarking.
She did. Yep. Okay, thank you. Thank you. Page 146, Buildings and Grounds. Total expenses, $581,989. Other revenues, $305,400. Net cost and tax levy, $276,589.
Who made the motion? Mr. Glazeman, Ms. Lear, that the building grounds budget be adopted, net cost $276,589. Discussion. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Opposed? Building grounds budget is adopted.
Page 149, Probate. Total expenses, $157,133. Other revenues, $54,000. Net cost and tax levy, $103,133.
Mr. Jockus, Ms. Hendrickson, that the probate office be adopted, net cost $103,133. Discussion. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Opposed? Probate budget is adopted.
Page 152, Surveyor. Total expenses, $155,916. Other revenues, $80,132. Net cost, $75,784. Tax levy, $45,784.
Motion by Mr. Baker, Mr. Pomish, that we adopt the surveyor budget. Net cost $75,784. Discussion. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
Page 154, Land Committee Developmental. Total expenses, $277,825. Other revenues, $179,770. Net cost, $98,055. Tax levy, $0.
Mr. Jockus, Ms. Lear made the second, that we adopt the Land Committee Developmental budget be adopted. There's no net cost. 98,055 is the number we approve, I suppose. Okay. Questions? All those in favor signify by saying aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
Page 157, Non-Departmental Taxes. Total expenses, $37,994. Other revenues, $80,000. Net cost, $42,006. Tax levy, $57,994. Negative.
Ms. Hendrickson? Mr. Jockus, that the non-departmental budget be adopted. The $57,994, that's the figure we want to adopt?
Negative
Okay,
tax.
negative, okay. Just questions? All those in favor signify by saying aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
Page 173, Human Services. Total expenses, $10,490,646. Other revenues, $7,768,226. Net cost, $2,722,420. Tax levy, $2,572,420.
Mr. Quam, Ms. Ryan, that the Human Services budget be adopted, levy $2,572,420. Discussion. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
Page 180, health. Total expenses, $975,687. Other revenues, $268,670. Net cost and tax levy, $707,017.
Mr. Quam made the motion. Who made the second? Mr. Mock. That the Health Department be adopted. Tax levy 707,017. Discussion, Ms. Lear.
I wonder why the revenues aren't applied when calculating the net cost of operation.
What was the question again, Rosemary?
The revenues don't seem to be applied when calculating the net cost from operations. The revenues were 268 and the expenses were 975, but it remains at 975 for net cost.
No.
Any, let Ann look for a minute. So,
I read the correct numbers, though.
but
Yeah.
the number's correct.
From the summary.
707,017 is the correct number. So we'll fix it. We'll fix this
Okay.
spreadsheet, okay. Rosemary's got a good eye. Discussion on the motion. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Opposed? Motion for Health Department budget is adopted.
Page 183, child support. Total expenses, $1,060,886. Other revenues, $827,500. Net cost, $233,386. Tax levy, $228,100.
Ms. Bergman, Ms. Lear, that this child support budget be adopted. Tax levy 228,100. Discussion. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Opposed? Child support budget is adopted.
Page 186, aging resources. Total expenses, $603,737. Other revenues, $400,179. Net cost and tax levy, $203,558.
Mr. Pomish, Ms. Ryan, oh no, it's Rosemary Lear, that made the motion for aging resource. Discussion. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Opposed? Aging resource budget is adopted.
Page 202, forestry. Total expenses, $1,989,262. Other revenues, $1,989,262. Net cost and tax levy, $0.
Mr. Robinson, Ms. Hendrickson, that we adopt the forestry budget and that actually the net cost is $0. Discussion. All those in favor signify by
Mr.
saying
Chairman,
aye.
I just have a
Miss
quick question. How is it exact to the dollar? It doesn't look like, where did the extra money go? Or were you just that good planning it out?
Who wants to make a comment on that? I think. Well,
Plan.
Are there extra revenues that got turned over? Is that why?
No, I think they use a timber sale account to kind of balance the budget, because they're not supposed to
Kind of what
obviously
I thought.
have a levy.
You never know, you earned that award doing something. So, thanks.
But remember too, forestry contributes to reducing the levy for parks and recreation and trails and all that, so there's a lot of things that benefit us from sales, of course, of timber sales, and so it's actually a big assist to our county. Any other discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye. Opposed? Forestry is adopted.
Page 208, highway. Total expenses, $7,301,610. Other revenues, $7,004,639. Net cost, $296,971. Tax levy, $3,537,971.
Mr. Baker and Ms. Kay Johnson, that we adopt the highway budget tax levy $3,537,971. Discussion. Any questions on highway budget? If not, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
Page 212, Central Supply. Total expenses, $90,090. Other revenues, $90,090. Net cost and tax levy, 0.
Mr. Quam, Mr. Payne made the second. Central, I can't hear too good. Central Supply budget be adopted. Discussion. Net cost, 0. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
Page 214, Workers' Compensation. Total expenses, $452,500. Other revenues, $452,500. Net cost and tax levy, 0.
Motion paid. Ms. Ryan, that we adopt the workers' compensation budget.
Pam, are you ready?
Net cost, 0. Is that what we're saying?
Okay.
Okay, discussion. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
Page 217, Information Services. Total expenses, $898,102. Other revenues, $898,102. Net cost and tax levy, 0.
Who made the motion? Mr. Robinson made second. Who made the second? Ms. Bergman. Discussion. All those in favor signify by saying aye. For the information service budget, signify by saying aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
Page 219, Health Insurance. Total expenses, $4,864,150. Other revenues, $4,864,150. Net cost and tax levy, 0.
Motion by Mr. Mock, second by Ms. Ryan, that the health and dental insurance budget be adopted. Discussion. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
Page 225, Land Records. Total expenses, $221,273. Other revenues, $99,121. Net cost, $122,152. Tax levy, $113,706.
Who made the motion? Mr. Mock, second Ms. Hendrickson, that the land records budget be adopted. Discussion. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
Page 189,
89.
Debt Service. Total expenses, $4,107,000.
For that, okay. Okay, we'll go to budget resolutions then.
Resolution 7414. Resolution by the Administration Committee, subject special charges levy.
7414, discussion. All these numbers we come up with, these budget resolutions, let us know if we need any changes. Okay. 7414, we had a motion and a second. Mr. Jacques, Mr. Plomish, discussion. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Opposed? Resolution carries.
Resolution number 7514, resolution by the Administration Committee, subject general property tax levy.
Mr. Baker, Mr. Mock, that we adopt resolution 7514. Discussion. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Opposed? Motion carries. The resolution carries.
Resolution number 7614, resolution by the Administration Committee, subject budget for 2015.
Mr. Quam, Mr. Mock made the second. 7614, discussion. Yeah.
Yes. It should read, approve the sum of $50,713,800. And in brackets, the first number should be $50,468,765. The 245 is correct.
Okay, is there a motion to amend to the figure that Ann gave us? Motion by Mr. Quam, second by Mr. Payne, that we amend the resolution as Ann outlined. Why don't you give it to us one more time?
Okay, supervisors approve the sum of $50,713,800 $50,468,765 for operating expenditures, $245,035 for capital outlay.
Okay, there's a motion and a second to amend to that figure. Discussion on the amendment. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Opposed? Now the resolution 5614 as amended. Discussion. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Opposed? Motion carries, and that concludes our budget for 2015, or approval of the budget for 2015. Again, I want to thank the county board, the committees, the departments, and the public, I guess, for their cooperation and working together, and we will move forward in 2015. There'll be challenges, but I'm sure we'll meet those challenges, but I thank you all. Is there a motion to adjourn till November 20th? Motion and a second that we are adjourned. You had a question? We had, oh, okay. Okay, we had a couple people already made the motion, Sam. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you.